Yo, what's going on, y'all? It's Combo Breaker 99 back on the Fight Front once again. Make sure y'all subscribe. Well, tomorrow's fight night. Andrew Ruiz versus Anthony Joshua. The rematch is going down tomorrow. I am going to check this fight out. So I'm back with my quick prediction on this fight. Quick breakdown too. First off, as far as a breakdown, man, I just got to say, that this fight is probably going to have a bit of a different texture to it. I feel like the weight loss on both sides is going to kind of play a different factor in this fight. So I think both fighters are going to probably have a bit of a different approach, except for Andrew Ruiz. He's probably going to be the one that sticks more to his own game plan, because he's probably going to, use what worked for him the first fight, it earned him a knockout. So he's probably going to be sticking to what he knows. But as far as Anthony Joshua losing the most weight, I think that he's going to want to be able to move around a lot in this fight and, have less weight to carry around. He's probably, worked on his cardio more. So he's going to be trying to box more, which is crazy, because if you look at that first fight, man, you would think the bigger fighter like Anthony Joshua would have been backing Andy Ruiz up and just boxing him safely from the outside with a good hard stiff jab and a good right hand. But Andy Ruiz was backing him up at will. First fight, AJ was getting backed up by Andy Ruiz. A lot of people felt like the first fight, some people say it was lucky or whatever, but once you go back and look at it, it was a systematic beating. I tell many people that Andy Ruiz just had him outgunned with the jab, the speed, the hand speed was big factor in the fight. You would think a guy with this size, his hand speed wouldn't be that crazy, but his hand speed was just like blinding AJ at times. It was going straight to the body, chest, coming over the top with the right hand. Whenever Joshua would land like one or two hard shots, he would come back with like a flurry. And only thing Joshua would do was try to block with his arms. He would throw up the high guard, but there's still so much to hit. So just going back and looking at all the things in the first fight going into this fight, like the jab and the speed, all of that favors Andy Ruiz. Defense was favoring Andy Ruiz. Andy Ruiz, his defense in the first fight was his offense. Having a very, very good solid offense, and I don't mean like taking a punch, to give a punch. I just mean when you throw your offense that fast, when you throw a very fast flurry like Andy Ruiz was throwing in the first fight, that's your defense, because you're making the other guy shell up while he can't hit you. That's every time he would get hit every time Andy Ruiz would get hit with one shot, he would come back with like two or three, and that's his defense. He's throwing off a real solid offense where the other opponent can't get anything off. So again, that department favors Andy Ruiz. Now going into this fight, we're gonna see if Joshua worked on a lot of these things. To me, over the past 6 months, I can't really say he has. I can say he's worked on it, but I can't say he's, improved in those departments yet. It's been 6 months, and, then you got to factor in that rumored concussion he had in sparring, and then the damage he faced in the fight with Ruiz the first time. So there's just so many minuses, going in there for somebody like AJ. Again, going back to that first fight, I just really liked the jab of Andrew Ruiz in that fight. He would go up top and then he would go to the body with the jab. It was a much more smarter jab than a lot of people were expecting from Andrew Ruiz. The smaller fighter using a good time jab on a bigger fighter like Anthony Joshua. Now going into this fight here, now that AJ's lost all this weight, I still think that he's still gonna have to fight like he's this big, solid man that can't be backed up. He's going to have to fight like Lennox Lewis kind of learned to fight more so when he started working with Emmanuel Stewart. Same with Vladimir Klitschko. Whenever they started working with Emmanuel Stewart kind of taught them to fight taller, fight bigger, using a good, solid jab. Again, using that jab, is like almost like a straight right hand. You got to have the same amount of power on it to set up your right hand. Never let that little man get in on the inside. You got to know how to tie him up on the inside. And I think that's some of the things, again, Anthony Joshua, he hasn't learned in training. Whenever a small guy gets in there like that or is able to break through your reach, you got to tie him up, put your weight on him, tie him up and move him around and put your weight on him. See, AJ showed too much respect to Ruiz in the first fight. So Ruiz would never really get tired. He knew that he could land on AJ so cleanly. So all he had to do was disrespect AJ. Get in there, push on him, and start just hitting him with flurries on the inside. AJ being this bigger man, he should have been laying on him. He should have been laying on him, putting his weight on Ruiz, moving him around, throwing him around. And again, that strength department, I would have to give that to Ruiz, because he was able to disrespect AJ and, just get all up in his zone, So pretty much all of these categories I had to give to Ruiz, this go round. So my prediction, if AJ can prove me wrong, if he can't prove me wrong, then I have to go with Andy Ruiz, probably by like a 7th or 8th round late stoppage. I think that the weight loss is going to affect AJ a little bit more. I think that it might take away from his punch resistance a little bit. I think if Ruiz lands some of those clean left hooks and clean overhand rights again, he could get him out of there in like the mid part of the fight. But like I said, this is the heavyweight division. Anything can happen. I'm definitely not counting that. I'm definitely not counting out AJ's possibilities of knocking Andy Ruiz out. If he could capitalize, and move forward with the left hook like he did last time, and if he could close the show, it's possible. Anthony Joshua does have that power to hurt a fighter. You never know. This could be the day that Andy Ruiz can't take a Anthony Joshua right hand. Heavyweight division is unpredictable like that. But if we were just going off of skills and the mental strength in this fight, I would have to go with Andy Ruiz. So I'm picking Andy Ruiz this go around, probably like mid-round stoppage. But like I said, I'd like to see AJ get some redemption, man. I want to see him, pull out those intangibles. It's something he's never done before. I'd like to see him get his redemption, if he is that real fighter like he says, and the gloves are off. He said it's not about the money, it's about fighting. So prove me wrong. I'd like to see him do that. If he is that type of warrior, I'd like to see him, regain his status. But if he can't, then it's just a changing. It's just changing of the champions, that fast. Andy Ruiz deserves it. I mean, I can't bash Andy Ruiz because he hasn't, he's proved that he wanted it. He's proved that he wanted it the first time, and we're gonna see if he can prove that he wants to keep it, man. So yeah, man, that's all I got on this one, guys. I just kind of want to go back and do a discussion on this one, man. And my prediction, once again, I'm going with Andy Ruiz by 7 or 8. Like I said, the heavyweight division, anything can happen, y'all. But yeah, man, that's all I got on this one, guys. Leave your prediction in the comment section. Let me know who y'all think's gonna win this one, Ruiz or Joshua. Make sure y'all subscribe. Combo Breaker 99. I'm out. Peace.